Well, after her speech this morning, I asked Jo Swinson why she won't back Jeremy Corbyn's proposal.
What I want is practical ways in which we can stop this country crashing out of the EU without a deal on the 31st of October. Now, there's different ways we can do that. Could be passing a law to require an extension of Article 50 for a people's vote. It could be an emergency government after a vote of no confidence in Boris Johnson. But that is not going to work.
Why not?
If the suggestion that Jeremy Corbyn is going to be the Prime Minister, because in order to win a vote of no confidence against Boris Johnson, we actually need some Conservative MPs to vote against a Conservative Prime Minister. And they are much less likely to do that if they think it's going to make Jeremy Corbyn Prime Minister. So let's find...
They're more likely to do it if you say, yes, no, I'll back this. This is an emergency. He's not going to be able to do anything. He's just going to call a general election and delay Brexit.
To be honest, I don't think that's the case.
Well, they are not going to do it.
Yeah, there's plenty of MPs that have told me that they would not be able to vote for Jeremy Corbyn to be Prime Minister.
I'm asking you about these specific circumstances. This is a new offer. This is not putting Jeremy Corbyn into number 10. This is an emergency government whose sole aim is to call a general election and delay Brexit. Are you saying that you've had that conversation with other members of Parliament and they have said there's no way we will support that?
Definitely it is the case that there are Conservative and Labour MPs who will not put Jeremy Corbyn into number 10, and that the best way of this kind of idea of an emergency government, which I think has some merit, succeeding, is if it is done in a very collaborative cross-party basis where it is being led by somebody who has respect right across the House, who is not perceived as somebody who does ultimately want to be Prime Minister in the longer term. And the people I've suggested have been Harriet Harman and Ken Clarke, the mother and father of the House. There could be other people who fit that bill.
Have you spoken to either of them about this?
I have, and I understand that they have a sense of public duty, and if the House of Commons was to request that they were to lead such an emergency government, that I have confidence that they would be up for that.
They have both told you they would be prepared to do this.
They are willing to do this, and I think you can certainly ask them what their views are of it. But my understanding,
but that's what they've told you.
That's what my understanding is.
I mean, that's remarkable. That if Harriet Harman is saying she is prepared to lead a government over the head of Jeremy Corbyn.
Look, people understand the national crisis that we're in.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Jeremy Corbyn should understand the severity of this situation. And if he is truly saying that he wants to stop a no-deal Brexit, he needs to have a bit of self-awareness about how he is viewed by some people across the House of Commons.
But you could change the game by saying, I will back Jeremy Corbyn, and you're refusing to do that.
I'm refusing to back something and to waste my time on a plan that isn't going to work.
You don't know that until you've tried it.
We do. No, because we don't have time to try plans that aren't going to work.
You do. You could say it today and see if it's failed by tomorrow.
We don't have time because we're talking about a scenario where we have the 31st of October deadline. If we have a vote of no confidence, there are only 14 days. The risk of us accidentally crashing out with no deal, if we don't have our act together, is high. And we need to be aware of that risk, and that's why cross-party agreement is important, and why it needs to be on realism.
Are you ruling out yourself backing Jeremy Corbyn in Downing Street for an emergency government? Under any circumstances? Other people may change their positions. Are you saying you will not back that?
It is an absolute waste of energy to be talking about this.
No, it's not.
No, it is. It is, because it's not going to work.
He is the leader of the opposition.
He is the leader of the opposition.
He has the most opposition MPs. He's entitled to try this. It's not a waste of time.
In fact,
I've got to ask you, are you ruling this out, supporting it?
I cannot see how he can command a majority, and if he is...
You're speculating about other people.
If he is setting,
I'm asking you about you.
If he is setting a condition on stopping a no-deal Brexit, that he must be Prime Minister. I mean, my question for Jeremy Corbyn is, why is it that it would have to be you? Why can't you say that an MP from your party or another party that has a long record of service, why couldn't he back them in the knowledge that they are not the divisive figure that he is?
Won't voters say both Jo Swinson and Jeremy Corbyn are playing politics here with their own ambitions? No. And they're putting that ahead of stopping no-deal Brexit. You will both go down in history as the people who argued and no deal happened.
I am making no conditions whatsoever, other than we should have a plan that will work
You've just
to
put
stop
one down.
no deal.
Your
No,
condition
it
is no
that,
Jeremy Corbyn.
It's that it will work. That is my condition. It's that it has
won't
to
work
be a
unless
workable
you
plan.
support it.
But it won't work if I do support it. It will not work.
But there is a danger that you're going to keep disagreeing. He doesn't blink, you don't blink, no deal happens.
What I'm trying to do is deliver something that works. We've had enough of people putting forward their own egos on this about they have to be Prime Minister. You know, we're in this, boxed into this situation because Boris Johnson said whatever he had to say to win the Conservative Party leadership election because he had to be Prime Minister. He wasn't putting the national interest first. If Jeremy Corbyn says that rescuing our country from no deal has to be all about making him Prime Minister, then, you know, that's not putting the country's interest first.
Are you going to go and talk to him?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're going to say to him, you can't be the Prime Minister.
And, you know, I think he needs to understand it. I would hope he has friends around him that can help him see that. I think, to be honest, in his heart of hearts, he must know this.
Are you sure there isn't another legislative route to stopping no deal? I mean, is it not possible that you could change the law?
Yes.
You know, John Bercow is certainly suggesting that.
Yeah, and so, I mean,
so all of this might be academic.
Well, so in my speech today, I set out that I think legislating to require the government to request an extension to Article 50 for the purpose of holding a people's vote is, I think, probably the best way out of this. So, yeah, I'm not being prescriptive about how this is done. We need clarity among the different groups about the clear options that we can go forward with and the sequencing of how we do that. But we just need to put our party interest at the door. This is about what's best for our country.
Jo Swinson, thank you very much.